Okay. Hey there, everybody. Amalia and Madeleine here with the cosmic chat for this Libra new moon, which is happening, I think a couple hours from now. And hold on one sec. We've got an echo again. I thought I muted this.
Is that me?
There we go. Okay. Awesome. Yeah. Big time. This is so exciting that Madeleine and I get to talk to you on the actual new moon.
Yeah.
So we're all like riding this lunar energetic wave together, which feels kind of fun. The Libra new moon. Now, Madeleine has been a little busy bee over there in Idaho, working on something new. She's got some discoveries. And for most of you who just saw what she held up to the screen, you're probably like, what the heck is that? Like, that looks like totally too much.
Yeah.
But she's got the know-how. So she's going to share a little bit of her discoveries with us. But let's talk about what's going on right now with this Libra new moon. So Libra, ruled by Venus. We've got relationships in the crosshairs, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. We have balance and harmony in the mix. We have a number of planetary aspects that are affecting this new moon. There's some conjunctions, there's oppositions, there's trines with a lot of retrograde planetary action. So this is a really pivotal and optimal time for all of us right now to be able to get to know ourselves through relationships and be able to shift relationships that are in our lives for the better. What I have discovered for myself personally, and I mentioned this in my bi-monthly love letter that I send out, and for anyone who's interested in receiving those, please do sign up. You'll find some information in the links below, and where I also give send out a moon magic download, so you can follow these moon cycles with us and track what happened last moon cycle, what happened since then, what's coming up for you, and set your intentions. It's a really fantastic way to do the work with the moon, working with the moon. But that said, one thing I've noticed in my life is within relationships already leading up to this, doing some of the work because of the retrograde planetary energy that's allowed me to review past relationships and review my behaviors in the past in relationships, not just intimate ones, familial, friendships, business, all of it, to show up differently. And so I mentioned in my love letter that in my sacred partnership, in my most intimate relationship, we have found a balance between being together and being apart as individuals and doing our own individual work. Our favorite place is to be with each other. We enjoy the heck out of each other. However, you can have too much of a good thing. And so sometimes it's good to just kind of go and do your own thing, recharge your batteries, have something new and exciting to talk about, and then share that with the people closest to you. So this, I feel like, and Madeleine will be sharing more of her thoughts on this, is the prime opportunity to find that balance, to find that sense of relationship with self and relationship with other, and be able to craft a new relationship for yourself and those closest to you. So Madeleine, I'm going to let you take it away with this Libra new moon.
Hi, Amalia. Thanks for having me. Good to be here. Hi, everybody. This is a really nice new moon. I'm telling you, we are really in for some amazing blessings, because this new moon, we have the ruler of this new moon is Venus, and Venus is trining Pluto, or coming into a trine right now. It's not exact at this moment, but I will share the screen with everybody if I'm allowed.
Yeah, hold on one sec. I'm gonna give you the reins there. Tell me if you can. I think I just.
All right, I'll try here. Okay, good. Yep, it is allowing me to. So this is a really nice lunation, because we have some really challenging eclipses coming up. So this whole next 3 months are really important to watch chart, because these, like Amalia said, are very pivotal times. When this is an angular house new moon, and it's like it's at 2 degrees, which is right at the cusp. Everybody's going to have this. If you go whole sign, everybody's going to have this new moon on your cusp somewhere between Libra and Virgo. And of course, it activates its opposing sign, which is Aries, Pisces axis. So now what's crazy and fantastic about this new moon is we have Venus, what rules the new moon, trining Pluto, which is fantastic for romance, fantastic for reconciliation. Now we have Mercury in retrograde, communication coming in Virgo. Very much Virgo is work related. So we really are looking at partnerships. Now, the thing about Libra, it's contracted partnerships. It's not like fifth house partnerships that are friends and frivolous and not necessarily serious and playful and fun, but seventh house relationships you sign a contract with. And if you're a teenager, maybe you do a book report with them, but there's some sort of project in association. It could be a marriage. You could hire a lawyer during this period because a lawyer is a contracted relationship. You could make friends with a landlady, or you could become, if you sign like a landlady, that and a seventh house relationship, you sign a contract with them for something. So looking at new beginnings in contracted relationships. The only square we have during this new moon is the Saturn-Uranus square, which is not really being triggered by Mars or anything. That's going to get activated in November. That's going to be a tough one, the eclipse in November on the 8th or 9th. And that's going to square. That's going to be tough because that's in Taurus at 15 degrees, really on Uranus. And that's going to be an interesting one. But for right now, this is a really nice one. Unless, of course, you've got major squares going on in your chart around relationships, because what is going to show up during this new moon is how you're in balance, like you were saying, Amalia.
Oh, no. Madeleine was on a roll. She was really giving us some good, juicy stuff. We were actually talking about this earlier. We have the Mercury retrograde, for those of you who are familiar with that. Here she comes with technological difficulties. So we had a little bit of energy working against us, since we tend to have issues with the technology. So let's see if we can get Madeleine back. So far, I see her face, but don't see her yet. So while we're waiting, are you there?
Yep, back. Sorry about that, guys. It just dropped for no apparent reason.
Yeah. So we see your picture, but we don't see you. We don't actually see you.
Okay. Oh, you don't actually see me, huh?
No.
I know. I don't see you either. I wonder why that is. Okay. Is that better?
Are you on your phone or are you on your laptop?
I'm on my laptop and I can see me, but I wonder why I can't see you. And I can see your name. If I share a screen, can you see the screen?
We'll try. Let's see.
Oh, maybe. Okay, let's see. Let's try. There's my emails. Can you see that?
Nope.
You don't see my screen. Huh? God, wonder what I should do. Should I leave and sign back in again?
Yeah, let's try that. I'll chit chat with everybody while you
okay.
while you reorganize that, and we'll go from there. All right. So while we wait for Madeleine to pop off and pop back on, I had a few notes I'll just share with you all about relationships and some of the different aspects. So Madeleine already brought up the Venus aspect. She talked about the trine to Pluto. I just want to talk a little bit about Pluto as it pertains to relationships and the energy of Pluto in general. And remember, Pluto is in retrograde. So what that means is the energy that Pluto carries when it relates to death and rebirth and transformation. So it's that's what Pluto stands for. And that's why that's why Pluto gets a bad rap, is because people think about death and rebirth as like so challenging. And while it is, it's magical in the transformational effect that it will have in your life. Whenever you have a Pluto aspect like that, things can really shift for the better in your life. Maybe uncomfortable along the way, but it's always for the highest and best good of all. It's part of what you're here to step into. Okay, so Madeleine's back. Still only see your picture. Let's see. Oh, wait. Maybe. Are you with us? I can't. Okay, there you are. Can you hear us, Madelaine? Or me? You seem to be frozen. So I don't know if that's working. So Madelaine, I don't know if you can hear me, but you're frozen. So you might have to try your phone, because this doesn't seem to be working super well. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with Madelaine. So look, so basically, if we take the energy of Pluto, we take the energy of Libra. Libra is, think about that as about balance. We may be thrown off balance in some way in order for us to transform. But again, it's trying, so it's a really nice, it's a nice energy. Okay, there she is.
Sorry guys. Okay, can you hear me okay?
Yes. Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm just gonna have to do it through my phone. I don't know why it dropped, but it just dropped. So I'm just gonna go this way because I don't want that to happen again. So this is good.
Okay. So and everyone got to see the chart. So at least everyone has a visual sense of what's going on and what's happening. So do you remember where you left off when?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Awesome. So let's roll.
Now we're looking at an angular new moon, right? We're looking at an angular new moon at 2 degrees Libra. So it's hitting in the cusp of everybody's chart.
Yes.
Whenever we have any kind of planetary aspecting the cusps, it's more powerful, and it's a 3 degrees, so it's within 3 degrees of a cusp. And if it's hitting like me, because I'm 0 degrees ascendant Cancer, it's hitting right on my, it's right on my 3rd and 4th house cusp as well. But it's so if you have any planets there, you're really looking at what we call angular cardinal shifts, which are big seasonal long-term shifts. So a lot of these relationships that are coming in, what I explained, a 7th house relationship, which is a Libra relationship, which is a contracted relationship where you go into some kind of a partnership. It could be marriage, romantic, or business, or otherwise.
Okay.
We're looking at a very long-term thing because we're talking about seasonal cardinal shifts. This is for the long haul. We have Saturn aspecting all of these transits, this upcoming eclipse. So we're getting a lot of karma clearing in these eclipse cycles, and we have the big one coming up. So really what we're seeing is old patterns, because eclipses take things away or things go away and then new things come in. So we're clearing hardcore with this Saturn Uranus square that's going on, and it's going to be activated in the November 8th eclipse with the moon and the sun in Scorpio at what was the degree? Scorpio 15 degrees. So it's right on the Uranus square of Saturn. So there's going to be a karmic, shall we say, triggering upgrade. And what happens is this is the response eclipse from, and then we have another eclipse. We have the solar eclipse, new moon in October 25th. So that is mirroring the other eclipses in May. And so what did you learn from that eclipse? What bad karmic habit did you step off of? What karmic cycle are you repeating? Because these eclipses are going to show you your karmic cycle, so you can quit it, get off that karmic cycle, change. And then this eclipse that are coming up in the next cycle are going to show you whether you did the work or not. And what does that mean? That means when you clear your karma, you become ascended, you ascend, and you have a higher vibration. And then these trines that are coming in, because we've got amazing astrology as well. Then the new timeline comes in. You've released the karma from the old, and that's what Aries is all about. And this lunation is, and the Aries we have in October 9th, the Aries full moon at 16 degrees. So we're really looking at clearing the path for brand new beginnings in relationships, contracted partnerships, most likely for divine calling, because we also have the sun and Jupiter opposing. And you ought to go outside right now, and if you can see the stars, it's amazing, because we're seeing a full Jupiter, like a full moon, but it's Jupiter. And oh my gosh, I went out the other night and I looked up and I saw Jupiter, and I went, whoa, that's got to be Jupiter, because it's so bright and big right now. So
yeah, it's so cool.
That's a powerful influencing factor, because Jupiter is in Aries and it is being opposed by this, because Jupiter is at what, 4 degrees, Jupiter is at 3 degrees. This lunation is at 2 degrees, 0.45. So it's like opposite each other, with Jupiter blaring bright, showing us the path, the way, the higher calling, your higher mission, becoming clear on what relationships that is. We've done a lot of karmic clearing in the last eclipses. We've done a lot of work on ourselves, a lot of divine partnerships. This Venus trining Pluto is huge for divine partnerships coming together at the same time as this Libra new moon. I mean, it's time now for this new cycle to sort of come in, which is because whenever Jupiter's in Aries, we're really looking at a new Jupiter cycle. Any planets in Aries, we're kind of looking at that cycle, a new cycle for that planet. And if it aspects your chart, as it does mine, because I have my Jupiter there, you're looking at a beginning of a new cycle wherever that house is in your chart.
Where is it for you, Madeleine? Just out of curiosity.
Mine, I have Aries in my 10th. I'm rising sign Cancer, 0 degrees.
Nice. Okay.
So I've
Very
got this.
cool.
Yeah, but it's squaring because everything's squaring. But interestingly enough, Jupiter squares because I have it squaring my ascendant because it's at 3, almost squaring my ascendant. And it's not so bad to have a Jupiter squaring right now. It's actually good when Jupiter is this powerful. That's great. It's beautiful. Anything going on with your Jupiter in your chart right now, everybody wants to take a look at, because that's where the doors are opening. Any kind of a trine. Now, in your chart right now, because a lot of people are kind of calling me feeling very lost and confused, because all you can kind of see right now is what's been blocked and what's not happening, because Saturn is, we have all these planets are still in retrograde. They're going to come direct. The end of October, we've got Saturn direct, Mercury direct, Mars is going to go in retro. What else is direct? Pluto. So those are all our very active planets right now. So we're really becoming clear. The reason people feel really kind of lost and confused right now is because you're kind of not supposed to know. You're supposed to sort of delete any idea of where you're going, because we're really being led by these trines, by the open windows and the open doors that are becoming available right now. We've got this miracle trine happening the next couple of days when Venus exacts its trine to Pluto. So, and we have Mars trining Saturn. I forgot about that. That's fantastic. And that's like a long week transit. And then when Mars goes into retrograde, we'll come back for that. This is all about our careers and our missions and our higher callings. And that Jupiter, that sun opposing Jupiter is like, what is your mission? What is your higher calling? Step into it now. See the clarity of it. See it. It's your guidance. It's that Jupiter. If you go outside right now, it's like guiding light, very strong, telling you you're here for a reason. You're here for a big purpose. Let's go. Let's do it. And it's most likely involving a divine mate, divine partnership, or a contracted new relationship, whether you've met them, whether it's someone from the past. These planets are in retrograde. Mercury, it's most likely someone from the past. Saturn in retrograde, Jupiter in retrograde. These are projects that may have been abandoned from the past. Karma needed to be cleared in order to go forward. In other words, there was a certain amount of fear-based. Karma is really like fear-based, non-faith-based actions that really don't align you with your divine purpose or your divine calling. It's where we've not believed in abundance and taken other choices that was not in alignment for our divine and everyone's highest good, right?
Yeah.
So, and I just saw an interesting documentary, because I'm really studying karma, because I know that's our freedom. When you understand the karma in your chart, you are free of it. You ascend, you experience ascension, your vibrations go flying up the ladder really high. I was watching a documentary about the history of England, and I find it very fascinating, the royals and everything. And one of the Queen of Henry VII had, she was always trying to get husband, because a woman back then couldn't make it on her own without a husband. So she's always constantly trying to find a husband, because she doesn't believe in her own powers of materialization or abundance creating.
Mm-hmm.
And in those days, the feminines were kind of repressed to materialize in the way that is abundant for them to materialize. Today, it's better. So anyway, so you create all this karma. Women were creating all these karmas by getting these relationships that were fear-based, that were security-based. So a lot of what's coming up now, in order to align with your divine mate, is we have to sort of wrap up that karma that we hold in our relationships, where we made contracted-based relationships out of fear, out of security, out of wanting to create a permanent, secure situation for ourselves. When now we're shifting, because we're clearing that fear-based karma, we now are we're now, am I there?
Yeah.
Are you
Keep going.
guys still there? Oh, good.
Yeah,
So
keep
we're
going.
now in the, okay, good. So we're now focusing on the new contracted relationship that is in faith-based towards a mission, towards a higher calling that is for the benefit of the people. So that's kind of a nutshell there on that. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah. So here's a question that's coming up is, I know it's seventh house and know it's contracted relationships, all of that. At the same time, it feels like it's beyond that even. I mean, I know astrologically speaking, it's not, but it feels energetically like it could be beyond that. And it may be there's some sort of contract that you have, but it's not in the traditional form of maybe marriage or something like that.
You're right. I think it could be your mission, your true mission, your true purpose for being here, your true, that's why Jupiter is shining so bright, you know.
Yeah. It's almost like a soul
Jupiter is shining
contract.
so bright for that.
Yeah. I mean, it feels almost like a soul
Yes.
contract versus necessarily like a marital contract with someone.
Yes, because of the Venus trining Pluto.
Mhm.
With Venus trining Pluto,
Okay.
we're getting we're getting twin flames coming together. We're getting soul contracts coming together. Yes, faded, very faded. And you know, this is a good energy with that Jupiter, because Jupiter is Venus opposite Jupiter. Wait, is Venus opposing Jupiter? I think Venus.
I think so.
Venus is opposing Neptune.
Oh,
So
in Pisces.
Neptune is a high. Yeah, and Neptune, by the way, is sextiling Pluto while Venus is trining Pluto. We are talking about spiritual relationships. Absolutely. Absolutely stepping up to mission. That's what, in fact, your relationships are not really healthy till you have a mission together. Your divine partnerships can sometimes get into toxic problems when you don't have a focus of a mission together. That is the purpose of divine partnership, is to expand the world. We have Mars trining Saturn, Venus trining Pluto, Mercury trining Pluto, communications coming in from past possibly separated divine mates that had to go into separation to clear karma. A lot of them do. I'm reading for a lot of those people. It's a challenging journey, but you're going to feel amazing afterwards. You feel like you feel like a ball that was been underwater, and then it goes up. It's like boom. There's this feeling of a rise. And don't forget, we still have Uranus and the nodes conjoining. So this is all about our destiny, our true purpose, our callings. With that Jupiter lit up, we're here. We're all being called to step into our purpose, which is to make the world a better place for all of us. To step into what it is you are gifted here. Now, Jupiter's also your gift. It's also where you make your best money. It's the most abundant, it's a very abundant energy. So living your Jupiter in your chart is where you, one, find you fill your cup, you feel alive, you feel fulfilled. Two, you do attract abundance for yourself, because that is where it was planned that you would retrieve abundance. It was planned that way. And Jupiter is your mate, your husband, if you're feminine. And we have Venus in on this. So Venus for man is the wife. So the woman. So we really do have the masculine, feminine, the moon in Libra coming together. Libra, romantic, ruled by Venus. I mean, this is crazy.
It's
beautiful.
So cool. Yeah, I love the way you're describing it. So why don't we go ahead and get rolling with Aries and see what each of the 12 signs has in store.
Yeah. So Aries, you guys, this is happening in your 7th house of relationships. You have Libra in your 7th house. You are literally, because you're gonna have Jupiter on your ascendant in your 1st house. You're literally waking up. You're literally going, oh my God, I get it. Now, this isn't Jupiter on your ascendant is a 12-year cycle. So you're literally going, I get it. I wake up to who my person is, who my real relationship is, or what my true mission is with this relationship, or which relationship or contract from the past I want to reconnect with. I want to reinvigorate. I want to reignite in my life. This is the right relationship. This is the most abundant path forward for me. I'm going to commit now to this relationship. Libra and contracts, signing contracts, but also they're not right in this relationship. They're going to be aware of their, you can still hear me, right? Can you hear me?
You froze up for a second. So just so that we're with you, you were talking about ready to commit to the relationship, or I guess the flip side of that is if you recognize it's not the right relationship, you'll have a sense of that too.
That's true. You'll probably end it if you're in the wrong one. You'll become clear what that is.
Okay.
But
okay.
the main thing that's going to happen here is you're going to become aware of how you've been selfish, how you haven't been fair, how you haven't been right to your divine relationship. You're going to regret, because the other thing that this new moon is going to expose in all of us is where have we given too much? Where have we taken? Where have we not given? Where have we been selfish? Where have we been too giving? So you're going to get a flipping. You're going to get a balancing out of this, which is, you know, probably the Aries relationship, because Aries tend to be selfish, which is not a bad thing. It's just there's the right amount, you know.
Yes.
And so Aries are probably going to go, oops, let's fix this, and come back and make amends, feel bad, change, fix the situation in a relationship from the past, and reignite a contract and go forward with a project that was really divinely intended, that really is part of your future and your journey. So
I love that, because I feel like that's so important right now for so many of us, you know, to recognize our role within relationships and to rectify any imbalance that may have taken place. You know, I mean, just think about that. Just think about any relationship that you've been in and somebody's come back and said, you know what, I screwed up. You know, I'm really sorry. And you don't need to get back together with that person, but for that person to acknowledge it, that's so healing for both people.
It's great. But this is only going to happen with people that you are supposed to go forward in the future with, or you're just clearing up karma with them and you're apologizing and you're clearing up your energy field with them. But most of the time, you're really looking at someone who's going to go the long haul here for a pretty long time, because we're looking at cardinal angular house shifts. So prepare these for being long-term. There's a journey to this point. So Taurus, you guys are having this Aries in your 12th house, Libra is in your 6th house. So relationships around work, contracting, a work situation, a brand new beginning. You might hire a new employee, that because 6th house is employees and people you hire. So maybe you sign a contract, or you get a new job, or you sign a contract, but this is really your true path forward. And this relationship is a long-term situation. This is good. This is trining Pluto at the same time. So there's a blessing here. This is a good relationship. This is going to be abundant, and it's going to last a long time. Again, or you're in could be a relationship from the past coming back, and then you go into mission together. The 6th house is very much a mission project work. Now that is the house of frustrations and irritations and things like that too. So maybe some imbalances in their relationship come up to be discussed and talked about that were caused, that caused separation. A lot of these are, listen, there's a lot of people out there in separation from their true loves. I can tell there's a lot. You can tell by the Divine Partnership video reads on YouTube. There's so many of them, and there's like thousands of views on them. So like so many people are going through this, right? So you're seeing a reconciliation of a lot of these people. And for Taurus, they're going to probably go into mission with this person and start a business or a work project, and clear up some frustrations and irritations from the past. Because we have that Mercury in retrograde. So we really are looking at people from the past or issues from the past coming up to be cleared with all these Jupiter in retrograde, Saturn in retrograde. This is a lot to do with stuff that's either very internally important to you. And by the way, Jupiter in retrograde, going back to Aries, is showing you who's your true soul person. Who is your soul person? Like we were talking earlier. We're going to shift from karmic relationships to true divine relationships. That's what this energy is shifting.
So one question about this too. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Madeleine. Finish your thought.
So Taurus are really going to go forward, clearing away karmic relationships and stepping into divine mission with their true person. pretty simple read.
Okay, so I'm curious about the Jupiter in the 12th house as it relates to, because that's expansion. That's also, like you said, the guiding light shining the way forward. As it relates to this new moon in the 6th house, which could also be the day-to-day sort of
Mundane,
tasks, if you will. Yeah, the mundane day-to-day
Well-
thing. So could it be like you have a better, 12th house is that deep inner divine connection, but it's also hidden, those hidden, sometimes shadowy places. Could it be that some of that, because there's Jupiter there, there's a light being shine? I don't know.
Yep. Big flashlight. on
Yes,
that.
on that. And then that could shift your day to day.
Yeah, now the 12th house can be kind of a challenging house, but if you have Jupiter in retrograde in your 12th house, you're getting visions, you're getting ideas, you're connecting with your soul mission,
Yeah.
you're probably getting downloads, you're getting you're getting insight to your calling, what's your soul mission. It's deep, 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 very
Yeah.
deep. It's the deepest placement of all of the entire deal.
Yeah, and that's why it feels rather important to mention when it comes to the new moon aspect in the 6th house with your day to day, even and health, things
Right.
like that. Things shifting pretty significantly, and it's deep. It feels anyway to me like this. There's some potentially deep inner healing that can take place and shift your day-to-day routine. I'm Taurus Moon, and I can speak to that for myself personally, which is I think why this message is coming through for me, my interpretation of it.
Ah, yes. Taurus Moon, you do want to look at your moon. In fact, if you want to know your health, you want to really get an insight on your health, you want to look at your moon, and then the opposite, you want to look at the 6th house from your moon, and then you see what's going on in there. And that can really, can you hear me, Amalia?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, good. So so for instance, my moon is Pisces, so my 6th house has Gemini. I have Pisces across as Virgo. So I have over my 6th house. God, now I'm blanking out. What do I have over my 6th house? Virgo, Gemini. And I'm feeling very confused right now. So never mind. But anyway, I have, you want to go with your moon. That's right. I have Virgo over my 6th and 7th right now. So anyway, you want to look at the 6th house from your moon, and that gives you an indication of what's activating in your health, because your moon really indicates health a lot. So a lot of health issues, if having it in your 6th house, could come up for reveal that you got to take care of and change, because Venus is health too. Venus is what's good for you. This is a ruled by Venus moon. So, it's trying to help you get better and do better for yourself. So yes, new habits, new spiritual practice, possibly that do involve your divine mate, or that turn into somewhat of a work thing, or maybe you become more spiritually aligned with a work project and both you and your mate take more of a spiritual angle on it because of the Jupiter thing. So
it's fascinating. All right, so let's move on to Gemini.
So Gemini, you guys have Libra. Where's Libra in your 5th house? So we're looking at relationships, new relationships starting. But again, this is probably from the past. It could be very well a friendship that turns into a true serious relationship. People are going to step into very seriously long-term relationships. So Gemini are going to turn a frivolous friendship or relationship into a serious one. They're going to commit to it. They see that and then they take on a creative project. There's a very nice creative relationship in this relationship. You could get pregnant and have a child. And the Aries, of course, is in your 11th house. It's possible you meet someone who is your true soulmate and you haven't met them yet, but most people, these are going to be people we already know because of all these retrogrades, or it's a true past life relationship that you meet, that you've kept as a friend, that you now turn into a serious relationship. And then you take on the baby that you were supposed to have together, which could be a mission, a creative project, or a child. So Gemini are getting serious about somebody. And Jupiter being in their 11th house, it's possible, again, it's a friendship or through a tribe, or they open up a whole new tribe group through this friendship, but it's activating your friends and social networking sites very much with Jupiter there. It might, with Jupiter there in your 11th house, really opening up, really shining your purpose with this person in for Aquarius, the age of Aquarius, that's the 11th house, your purpose in this new age, because we're entering the new era. So everybody has a role to bring the world into this new era. So we're waking up to our role in that, which is to empower the people and to empower humanity, you know, save the planet, basically, put things back into spiritual balance, because we're out of balance. We're too material. We got to go more spiritual. It's not that we got to go all spiritual. We just got to go more spiritual to balance. So that's Gemini. Gemini. We ready for Cancer? Any questions?
Yeah, so I want one more question about Gemini. So I have got a couple people in mind I'm thinking about with Gemini, and they're at this moment, and that's not to say that there might not be a person that comes waltzing through the door for them, but as of this moment, there isn't anyone that is showing up for them, or anyone from the past that is a potential, at least not that they're aware of in this moment.
You're saying you know a Gemini like this?
Yes. Yes. So I'm curious if that's the case, you know, because for everyone, you know, I believe there is a divine complement or a sacred partner for all of us, for each of us, and they show up at the perfect divine time. For some, though, their contract may not be part of their contract in this life. So what could it show up as for them if there isn't an actual person necessarily? Would it be more creative projects?
It could be a friendship. It could be a friendship that's in the 5th house that turns into a contracted relationship. So in other words, they could then come into business. Also, the 5th house is entrepreneurial. So maybe they do go into some kind of a business with somebody.
Okay.
You know, they sign a contract with, it's a friendship, and then it becomes a 7th house relationship.
It could quite potentially
chance though that they do have somebody. I mean, if they're young, maybe they haven't met him yet, but yeah, maybe some people do not have divine partnerships coming in. Maybe they have their divine partnership in the 5D and they have them as sort of energy, and then they have a soulmate here. That can happen too.
Right.
So really what you're looking at is contracting something with somebody in the 5th house, a friendship, or you go into pregnancy and you raise a child with your divine mate, but the child is a metaphor. So
yeah.
Anything there.
Okay. All right, cool.
Cancer. So you guys have this happening. You have this Libra full moon over your 4th house. New moon, you might be moving, changing your something about real estate property, committing with a project with your divine mate, or signing a contract with a construction people to build your house. That would be a 7th house relationship. And it's accessing your 10th as well. So there is a career connection to this. This is a long haul project. There might be it's related to your career in some way, or it shifts and changes your career. I know for me, I'm Cancer rising. I know my property is in escrow right now. So, you know, things are going through, but after this, I might move apartment or find another place to live than where I'm living right now, because I need Wi-Fi.
Yes.
So I'm going to shift my living situation pretty soon here because of my career, 10th house. Interesting,
Yes.
huh?
Nice.
Yeah. So, and then for me, you know, my card reads show relationships. So Cancers really do, I think a lot of Cancers are going to step into, if they've been on this journey, divine mate relationship for a while, there's likely union coming for Cancer rising fairly soon. Your divine mate, Cancers have definitely cleared that karma. Boy, oh boy, the karma's in there big time. A lot of divine mates almost went into union in March or April last year, but there was this Jupiter and Venus conjunction and Pisces in the sign of Pisces. And everybody thought that was going to be divine union for all these divine mates that are in separation. But what it really ended up being was another round of karma clearing. And Pisces is all about karma clearing. It's about releasing the blame and not being a victim. And so there was still more work to do for most divine mates. Some went into union, but now you're going to see a lot of that cleared up now. So Cancers are going to probably go forward into mission around property and real estate. You know, that somehow impacts their career as well. So that is for you guys, because Cancers are going to do great, by the way, because they've got Pluto. I have Pluto in my 7th house on Venus. My Venus is something great's going to happen to me because I've got Mercury trining Pluto on my Venus. I'm like, whoa, what's going to happen? I'm so excited, right? I can feel the energies too. They're exciting. Yeah, I lost my train of thought there. I got
Sorry,
distracted.
I think I distracted you with the heart.
That's okay. All right, so that's pretty cool. So now we'll go to Leo, which is, I know you as well, right? Aren't you Leo ascendant, right?
Yes, ma'am. No, sun.
Nice. So
Sun.
you have Libra over your third house, so possibly a new business or a contracted business, signing contract or relationship, business relationship, communication, short distance travel. This is a very busy house. It could be writing, right? Also, Libra is a good writing. It's air energy. It's very, very cerebral. It's intellectual. It's and with, I forgot, Gemini's in Mars is in Gemini too, so that's adding sort of mental energy to everything. It could be a nervous energy having the Libra new moon in your third house. It's kind of busy, nervous energy, but you want to ground and you want to channel those to ideas for businesses, for writing projects. And Aries is in your ninth house, possible travel, short distance travel, but definitely a contract, possible starting a business, a writing project that involves travel or higher consciousness. The ninth house is wisdom, higher wisdom. You're going to pass on higher wisdom because you're going to have Jupiter in your Leo has Jupiter in their ninth house, possible travel, but really, really actually enlightening, becoming awakened to enlightening and having enlightenment as part of this project. Sort of spirit, that's very spiritual, having Jupiter so bright in that house, you know. A spiritual mission in the writing, like an awakening to the spiritual thing. Now, when I say spiritual, it doesn't have to be like super holy. I just raising consciousness and making the world better for each other. It can be yoga, it can be healthy, it can be organic, it can be environmental ideas or projects and things like that, or just philosophy or things that help raise consciousness. So all of that going on for Leo. And again, this is a creative. Leo are creative. This is great. And by the way, this is all these projects that are happening with our divine mates. They're kind of dream come true. They're great. They're fun. They're what you really want to do. This is all great.
So I want to just piggyback off of what you're saying as you were describing Leo, because all of this is, I'm thrilled that it's third house. I had not looked at that for myself. So I appreciate you sharing that. And the reason is that I am finishing a book, and I may have mentioned this book on past lives, but I definitely want to today, because I actually sent out an email today about this and it has to do with relationships. Oh. So it's so perfect. So it's a book that I began writing a few years ago during my disentanglement process from my not anymore husband, around the path that I took that was spiritually oriented, ninth house, in order to decide whether to stay or go in the relationship. And what is so fascinating about it is I'm in this kind of final push, the editing phase, the beta reader phase, you know, starting to line up the formatter and the book cover person and all of that. And the reason this is so great is like, this lines up so perfectly with what I'm writing, what I'm doing, and where I'm headed. Jupiter, you know, shining that light on that. So for anyone who is in a relationship currently that is not feeling good, that you feel like there's something that's amiss, you feel like you might want to leave, but you're not totally sure. My story also relates to infidelity within a marriage. And so that's another piece that I don't feel we all talk about enough, because it's embarrassing and it's hard.
Very
please,
big.
Yeah. So please, either if you don't feel comfortable commenting on this video, send me a private message. My contact information will be in the description. I'm going to be sharing some free resources online on social media and on video format. And you can be signed up for the updates on when the book comes out. It'll be early 2023. So I just really want to share that with folks to show how the astrology so beautifully lines up, and to share a potential resource going forward that, is the whole catalyst and the whole reason for sharing my story, is so that somebody else can potentially find a path forward that's easier for them without having to go through the trial and error that I went through to find the same end game. And whether you stay or whether you go, I ended up going, but you may not. I mean, all of the things that I share are beautiful strategies that can help you come back to yourself. The book is called We to Me. So you go from we, a couple, to yourself. And
Wow.
when you come back to yourself, you still have space for a we. It's not like that the we has to go away. It's just really getting back to self will always put you, like what you're talking about, Madeleine, put you in line with the right person to become the we.
It's interesting because, you know, as a card reader, one of the most thing people ask is relationship stuff, right? And every single time, and I used to be afraid if I tell someone, sorry, you're in the wrong relationship, but almost every time the cards say you're kind of this is not your long-term, this is not your true person. And everybody always agrees. They go, I know, almost every time.
Wow.
So, you know, if you're going through these transits right now, you can tell, you know, if this is your guy or not, and or woman. And if it's not, it's not going to be up to you. If you're in the wrong relationship, the universe, and you're going to be in a divine or different relationship that's more your true love and you have a mission with them, these eclipses are going to rattle. I don't think they're going to last, but that's just me. And I see it happen when I do reads. I see these relationships go through towers and all that stuff. And then finally people align with their true love. And it's quite normal to not do that until later in life. A lot of people don't do that until they're 60 sometimes, because you've got a lot to work through. And being single and not in a relationship is one of the best things for you, because you're right. You align more with the self and your higher self and the divine. And the divine will put you in a relationship when it's the best thing for you. And until then, we're supposed to be single with our relationship with the divine. So, you know, it looks like this is the time that a lot of these relationships are coming together. Maybe not all, but a lot.
Well, and the other part of that when it comes to relationships too, is that people stay in relationships oftentimes a lot longer than they would out of fear. And so we have all of these cosmic energies that are pushing on us. But I know for me personally, it had to get really, really bad before I took action.
We pull your chart. We'll pull your chart and you'll look at the day that you did that. And I know the day I left my marriage, my 18-year marriage, I had Pluto on my sun. And this was before I knew about astrology. And literally everything left. Like I sold my house, dog died, kids left, everything, boom, Pluto on your sun. It is like the most transformational. And I remember at the time I said, my soul can't do this anymore. And I look back and I see Pluto was on my sun, and Pluto is your soul. So the soul will win in the end, and the soul will crash down your wrong relationship. It will.
So that is interesting.
I say that I did everything I could to make that relationship work, because I didn't want to be insecure. And I mean, it was the last thing I wanted. Yeah. So anyway, we'll see what happens for everybody, how it plays out. But most karma that we're clearing in this eclipse cycle, it has relationship origins. And this Libra new moon is about the right one, because we have too much, because it's opposing Jupiter. I mean, that Jupiter is your divine mate. So it's shining a light on that, especially for Libra and Aries, because it's your 7th and 1st houses.
Fascinating. All right. So let's move on over to Virgo.
Yeah, Virgo, you guys have a Libra in your 2nd house of finances. Again, I mean, this message is going to be repeat. It's a new job opportunity, a work opportunity with a contracted relationship with somebody. I mean, this is going to be a repeat message, but let's see if I can think of anything different for Virgo. Aries is over your 8th house. So you could come into good money through a partnership, a financial, you get some kind of funding, or you raise money for some kind of a project that you're doing with your true divine mate. And for Virgo, because it's in your 2nd house, there's a really good chance this is a financially new beginning for you, that it's a new way of earning money, that this new seed is a seeding. Don't expect all these big finances to come flying through, although for some people it might, because of that Pluto trining Venus and Venus, all that. But for Virgo, I mean, if you want a full read, I should really look at where Pluto is in everyone's chart, but we can't do that right now. That's a lot. But
Yeah.
But anyway, for you guys, it really does look like, because your Pluto is in the 5th house. So you guys really do have a creative project coming through that could be financially very beneficial. Your mate could suddenly have money coming in, inheritance, or a, shall we say, a financial sort of windfall of some sort, or a loan, or a big chunk of money that comes in that enables you to start a project and earn actual money. I mean, this is an earning income house. When I had big lunations in my 2nd house, I literally started earning money as a tarot reader. Like that day was like one of my first days that I actually started working as a tarot reader. This was a long time ago. So I go back and look at all my past, the big significant days in my chart.
Yeah.
Anyway, so there's pretty good chance you start a new job or work or way of earning money, because the 2nd house is your own resources, how you can pull in resources with your divine mate and possibly raise finances for another cause or your mission, because you've got the full moon there. I mean, the full Jupiter in your 8th house, which is really lighting up ways of raising money for causes, or lighting up your finance house from other resources, or your mate could be very wealthy coming in, could have a lot of money.
So it's interesting. My daughter is a Virgo. She got into a car accident on her birthday recently. And it's looking like, and she's okay. Everything worked out all right.
Right on her sun. I mean, she probably had the sun. Oh, sorry. What am I thinking? Uranus. Never mind. Go ahead. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah. So her car was paid for. And so it's looking like her car's totaled. So she's feeling financial stress because this is now an added expense, monthly expense that she wasn't expecting. Now, as I'm hearing what you're saying, I'm wondering if perhaps what may happen is 8th house, other people's money, that she gets more money from the car totaling than she thought, and is able to buy a better car with the same amount of money, versus that feeling of like, oh my gosh, I have another expense. Trying to put the pieces in together with a real life example.
Yes. And Cancer is 4th house is car, can be a car. 3rd house is also cars. Virgo is 3rd house. Virgo covers my 3rd house. So often that means car. Sorry. So Libra 2nd house, it's possible that she does make some little extra money. But through that, it's possible. But I also think there's going to be an initiation of a new way of earning money for herself too.
Okay. So it could be a combo.
Yeah, and Jupiter's going to shine the light on that way. Jupiter's going to show us the way. So everybody wants to just try to tune into that, meditate under the Jupiter star, and get clarity. But I'm going to do tonight, or actually, because it exacts on the day that it exacts. I'm going to go out and do a little Jupiter meditation. Well, 2 of my planets are ruled by Jupiter. 2 of my placements, my moon and my sun. So anyway.
Okay.
All right.
Libra.
Oh, wow. You guys in your 1st house. So,
yeah.
Okay. You've got on your descendant in your 7th house of relationships. You're becoming very enlightened, aware of what is your true relationship. But also, if you're already in your true divine relationship, you will become enlightened of a project to start your mission with that person. You could move in together, and if you sign a contract, 7th house relationship, you become committed for a long haul, contracted, possible project, possible creative or cohabitation. But also this is happening in the 1st house. So you're really waking up to who you truly are, with Jupiter reflecting back onto you, literally on your house, like flying your 7th house. Who is your true soul relationship? What's going to work? What is the one that's going to work out for you? And then you're going to lock in, and most likely that's it for a long time. I mean, this could be a long 18 Jupiter's 12 years. So we're looking, and most likely it's your divine mate, because Libra is a contracted marriage type relationship. So it could be a pretty long-term relationship. To me, I think you're going to leave, or you're going to raise your other relationship into a long-term, or you're going to end. Very good chance Libras, a lot of Libras I know are ending a lot of relationships that are not, they tend to get into relationships a little rushed. So this is karmically, and the relationship that you delayed getting into, it's from the past most likely, and it is a true one. It's from your heart, because you're going to have the Jupiter in retrograde. This is great for Libra, though. It looks like they're going to have a breakthrough in their relationships and knowing what's right and real.
Sweet.
Nice.
Okay. Scorpio.
Scorpio, you guys have Libra in your 12th house. So this could be hard. And plus you guys are having all these eclipses, Taurus, Scorpio eclipses, and you've got, do we have another Scorpio eclipse? Yeah, we have a Scorpio eclipse at 2 degrees Scorpio in what month? October 25th. So October 25th. And then we've got the Taurus one coming in after that, November 8th. So Taurus and Scorpio are really having quite radical shifts and changes in relationships, partnerships. Partnerships are changing, becoming more serious, less serious, because of these eclipses. So karma, hardcore karma, really being purged, which is fear-based choices, security-based choices, rattling out of your system and having more confidence to step into a, shall we say, your soul. You're going inward with this new moon. You're going introvert. You're learning lessons, deep karmic lessons, deep inside. You're going introvert, what I call inner standing, but you're going to become aware of what's real for you and what's not in form of relationships. And you really are going to wake up to what is soulfully fulfilling for you as a relationship, what fills your soul. Because the 12th house to me is kind of the soul, is kind of the, it's our super conscious or subconscious or that which is deeper within us that we need to, it's harder to access. So there's this sort of coming into an awareness. There's going to be an introverted time. Aries is in your 6th house, which will reveal work partnerships or most likely shining a light on what's your true mission, your true work direction. And Jupiter shining so bright is going to really kind of bring awakenings. I mean, it's just literally simple, that message, that Jupiter shining in your face. When you look at it at night, you're just going to go, oh, okay, I know what I get it. We're here to be happy and have hope, so that's the message of Jupiter, right? So new inspiration. Jupiter is very inspiring. So it's like inspiring new beginnings around. This is inspiring, by the way. So for Scorpio, you're clearing quite a bit of relationship karma with that Libra in your 12th house. This is karmic, very tough one for Scorpio, I'm going to say. Not that this lunation is the tough one, but any that are coming. And this is all part of that story for you because it's in your 12th house. And these eclipses are happening in Scorpio, Taurus for 1st and 7th. So you're really clearing addictive tendencies towards relationships, obsessive, all of that. The unhealthy part of you but like, even if you're very advanced and you've done a lot of work in that department, there's some fear-based issue deep in your soul that still needs clearing. But in going introvert, you're going to find some imbalances probably, and minor or major, depending on where you are in this sort of journey, as it were. For you, probably not much. But your relationship person, maybe they are out of balance. Maybe they become more imbalanced after this as well. So, but there's the 12th house is about deep stuff. That's not easy.
And I think, when you talk about that, and I think this probably is for all of the moon cycles, is that it also depends on what work you've done up to this point.
True. From the last.
Yeah. Because I feel like,
because we've had these before, and if they quit an addiction, because Scorpio and Pisces, a lot of people have strong addiction issues. It's not everybody does somewhere. But Scorpio would have had to really quit. If you really quit an addiction would have brought you down about 5-6 months ago. And if you learn and you bottomed out, or did you continue, or did you just take a break and then go back, or did you really seriously quit some kind of self-destructive pattern that was obsessive that you couldn't stop? And if you really quit that, then you're going to have the benefits in this second round of eclipses. If you didn't, you're going to have another bottom. Yeah. So hopefully your quit wasn't good for you.
And that's the thing I wanted to mention too, is, talking about the work you've done up to this point, is I have Scorpio ascendant. And there was a lot of stuff in the past, not just the past 6 months, but the past year as it relates to relationships.
Yeah.
Addictions, I guess, to a certain extent, it depends, a little bit different than maybe your typical first thought when it comes to.
change that word addiction. So there's a range. So we can go from addiction to security attachment. So there's a range.
Yeah. Again, I think that makes something, I appreciate that distinction for everyone listening, because there might be people that are like, well, I'm not really addicted to alcohol or the gym.
Some way you are causing a little, I think you're some sort of salvation for me on some level that I need. So any kind of, but you're my security in some way is going to get rattled away, because Scorpio is all about devotion, which is faith. When you go through transformation, leaving the addictive to the ascendant, which is from fear-based choices, security-based choices, to total faith devotional choices. So it's like the pendulum will swing. So a lot of Scorpio Taurus are clearing that fear-based choice around relationships very heavily. So like you say, just be that you find financial security in a relationship, or you just like a picket fence because it makes you feel better and you'd like to stay, but your relationship is divine and right, but you got to let go of that, because maybe you're kind of controlling your partner a little bit, because you've got a little bit of a security thing hooked onto them.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
It could be minor. It could be minor. Adjustments. These are adjustments being made. So
exactly. Okay. So Sagittarius.
Ooh, Saggies, you guys have Aries over your 5th. Nice. Jupiter shining in your 5th house. Good for relationships.
And creative projects, I would assume, things you're working on.
Projects and getting pregnant. So I did a read for somebody 2 days ago, and I kept getting the Empress card. She's this beautiful young woman. I'm like, and she's had Scorpio over 5th house, rising Cancer. I'm like, you're about to have a bunch of planets in your 5th house. Watch out. You could get pregnant. But yes, are in danger of pregnancy here with Aries in their 5th house. They have Libra in their 11th house. So a friendship, Sagittarius, Libra.
Yep.
So friendship from the past coming in through tribes, through friend group, or possibly through social media. You reconnect with someone, you reconnect with a tribe mate, or somebody from your past connects with you via social media, or you come into a new project with your divine mate on social media that you want to raise vibrations and work on some sort of social media platform, or start a website, or something like that. What else could it be in the 11th house? 11th house is winning gains. You could get some kind of a opportunity comes through that puts you and your divine mate together, because it's a project from something from the past that you worked on. That the new moon can also bring opportunities that you have worked on before. And with all these retrograde planets, it's most likely these are projects from the past that you worked on that you let go because the karma was blocking your ability to go forward with it. Now the karma is cleared, you can take it forward. So for Sagittarians, you're looking at online type, social media type sort of projects going forward, contracting relationships, businesses that you might start, like workshops online with your partner, or they help run the business, or they provide the environment for it, but there's co-mission here involved. And then with Aries in your 5th house, creative project or child or pregnancy or a friendship suddenly is illuminated to you very clearly that this is not just a friendship, this is your person. That could happen too.
That's very interesting for you, knowing some of your history, Madeleine.
I know, it could be very interesting for me. I'm fascinated. That's why I'm doing these drawings every day. I'm like, whoa, what? It's because this is a point in everybody's life where people are like, I don't know what's going on. Don't be afraid if you don't know what's going on, because stuff is going on and it's coming, and it is what you wanted. It is what you sort of attempted to materialize. It's just going to come in a slightly different wrapper or different container or different or idea. So it's coming the way the universe wants it to be for you. And so it's exciting. And the 11th house is great house. The 11th and 5th houses are, this is a good time for Sagittarians if they want to gamble, because, and I'm not suggesting people go throw their money away, but if you want to make safe gambling choices, because the 5th house is gambling, the 11th house is also wins and lucky gains. So Sagittarians could be very lucky. This is very lucky for them.
Well, especially with Jupiter there. You got Jupiter in your 5th house. That's really pretty great.
Yeah, because they were right. Jupiter is going to be in your 11th house. Saggies are going to be very lucky. Thanks for adding that in there.
Yeah.
Yay. Boo.
Okay. So Capricorn 10th house, I'm thinking, or did you have something else you want to say about Sag?
Oh, Neptune is also trining Pluto, and Venus is trining Neptune. So there's this very strong Jupiter in Neptune. Well, that's more for Pisces, but still Jupiter's really blessed right now, trining Pluto, with that Neptune trining Pluto as well. It's sort of added nice energy to the whole Jupiter energy. Anyway,
Okay.
all right. So for Capricorn, we have Aries in your 4th and Libra in your 10th. So Capricorn obviously are very likely, well, it's funny because I know Capricorn rising who is moving, Aries in the 4th house, has had clarity of where to move, where to go, how to move, changing something about your living environment, changing home, house, something about your house, rebuilding, but clarity around that. And then Libra in your 10th house of career, shifting and changing, and new contracted relationship around careers, signing some possibly a business contract, but very possibly a divine mate, a true love, where you go into contract together over this property, you move in together, but then you start renovating the property together, or you start a mission together, or sign a contract, but somehow your career has a new beginning with a contracted relationship. But you could move and get a new job, or find a partner and work with that partner. I know somebody who's doing that. They're going to move in the next 3 months, Capricorn, and then they are going to try to find new work situation in that new area. So, but they still are continuing working in their other area, and they're going to fly. So it's like they're probably going to expand relationships somehow. That's going to expand a relationship career as well. So
Is this also, could this also be, and again, similar to you, like I always have people in mind when I ask these questions, because it tracks the 4th house energy when it comes to career for Capricorns. You know, the couple of people I'm thinking about, there's no real potential for them to move necessarily, but could it be just about playing with the idea of where they might want to go at a later time, which opens doors to other things? Or is it really just based on the movement itself?
Well, the new moon can be a seed, planting a seed. Yes, it can be very much. It can be clarity. It can be planting a seed, but it is most likely going to play out within the next 6 months. So that's a very good question. So even though you're going to see the seedlings, you're going to see the development within 2 weeks to the month, really, you're going to see something within the next 2 weeks, most likely. Then, and the eclipses are all part of the story. So you're going to see in the Aries season come in spring, the buds, the fruit.
Yeah. Well, and that's so true too about eclipse season, because I don't know that folks watching, that everyone realizes how significant eclipse season is.
Oh, yeah.
It's hugely significant. And when it comes to things like moving in career, I mean, those are two of the bigger aspects behind relationships, I think, for most people, if not equal. Those are the top 3. Those are the questions I think you probably get asked the most. They're the questions that I get asked the most. Those are the top 3 things that I pay attention to in my life the most. And so this seems like, Capricorns have 2 out of the 4 happening. I mean, 2 out of the 3 happening here. It's seems like it could be pretty big. And then you've got eclipse season coming up right after it.
I mean, I'd like to emphasize that all the cardinal signs, because Capricorn's a cardinal. So what that means is that you're having these eclipses on your angular houses. When you have eclipses on your angular houses, the shifts are more prominent. Like, I mean, very prominent shifts, very clear.
Yeah.
You'd be seeing them kind of by now. You would sort of start to see some of this, especially today, since it is, right now practically happening.
Almost, yeah.
Yeah. Hope I'm not jiggling my phone too much.
No, it's not too bad. We're hanging in there. We're hanging in there. Okay. Did you want to say anything else on Capricorn?
Libra 10th, Jupiter. Yep, I think that pretty much sums it up for Capricorn.
Okay.
Pluto in your 1st house, so it's tough, but most Capricorns are getting over that. So we're on the other side of that. So it's good. I mean, because it's at 26, 27 degrees, it's going to go direct. And so a lot of Capricorn have Pluto aspecting their charts, and it's been challenging. So I think we're on the other side of that for Capricorn.
Challenging in terms of, because I think Pluto, I was talking about this when you were kind of off with your internet issues, but you know, that's rebirth, death and rebirth, huge transformation. So for Capricorns, they've been in that cycle for a hot minute. And so your point is like, they're coming out of that. So it's good.
Yeah. I think we're on the, it's like down the slope from that.
Okay. Cool.
Unless you have high degree Capricorn in your chart. I have my Venus at 27 degrees. So I have it's at 26 degrees right now. But again, I feel like and then it's going to go direct again. Pluto's going to go direct in October. And I really, honestly, I know the lessons I've been learning from Pluto on my Venus, and I feel really on the other side of it. It feels much lighter. So I feel like we're coming out of a lot of karmic challenges that we've all faced. Yeah. So Aquarius, ruled by Saturn, speaking of which, in Libra hits their 9th house. So they may travel. Aquarians may find a new well, first of all, you're going to have awakening spiritual 9th house, and you might have an aha moment, and you may sign up and do some kind of travel with your partner and take on some kind of mission or job or higher calling to travel and do something or teach, start workshops, start a course. But again, this involves partnership. So maybe you sign a contract to a teacher or mentor, or you start becoming a teacher mentor. But also Libra's law. A lot of Aquarians are good at law. Maybe you hire a lawyer and you take on a case of higher calling, and you take on a fight to improve the environment, or you take on a mission. But Libra is very much about law, but you sign a contract with someone involving travel, involving projects that are higher partnerships. You could start, like I say, a course, and then you've got the 3rd house with Aries, Jupiter. You could very well start a business. Jupiter is showing you, see, like 3rd house is Gemini. It's writing, it's ideas, it's small businesses, it's selling. So you might go traveling to sell something, and you go with your mate and you start a business. 3rd house is business. You start a business and you travel. You get to travel with your partner. You work together, something like that. Now, Uranus is squaring Saturn, your ruling planet right now. So it's very most likely because Saturn and Uranus are both Uranus is ruled by Aquarius is ruled by Saturn. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. Uranus is Aquarius's Saturn. Higher octave of Mercury, but it's ruled by Saturn. So basically, we're looking at big, new, committed projects. Like this could be even like 30 years down the line that you start this new business, and that it lasts, or this new project. It could be a writing project, but this is a really new way of living for you with your mate, traveling involved, or philosophy or spiritualism around a business that makes you busy, or you write. So all of that.
Wow. Aquarius, you know, with that, I don't know, when you were talking about the big new committed projects, it felt really huge.
Interesting.
In that Aquarius is this the Aquarian age, it's this whole new way of life and way of being, and they're paving the way, and how whatever Aquarians are doing now that are destined for the future, it's pretty big. I mean, that's a pretty significant impact, and and the way you described it too, it's especially if you bring in a divine partner and you're doing that together, and that just is like turbo boosting.
Yes. We really are grounding the new earth now, the new era. You know, these are the seedlings that are these are cardinal. This is the new seeds for the new earth. And all expansion happens through relationships. Masculine, feminine makes the baby. It's just simple as that. So we're really looking at the new baby seedlings of the new earth and also they're going to be technologically advanced. I haven't even added all that in because there's so much to say, but these are new seedlings that advances technologically as well, because Uranus is on these squares of Saturn. So it's like changing us to be more technologically advanced in ways that are good for us, that are good for the health and good for the environment, that like really Zoom and all these social medias is stopping us from needing to drive. And that's great for the environment. So we're seeing advancements that are in alignment with the new earth. So
Yeah, cool.
it's fun.
Okay,
Hey, Pisces.
so Pisces taking her home now.
Pisces have Libra in your 8th house. So wow, this could be passionate sexual relationship coming back from the past. New moon activating, or your true partner comes back with a lot of money and he's got money, he's got refinanced his house, or he had an inheritance, or she had an inheritance, and you've come in for a windfall with finances, or together you decide to refinance your house, your divine mate, you're going to get married, you're going to restructure your finances with your new divine mate, you're going to get married and share resources, or an inheritance comes in to your divine mate, or you possibly with Libra in your, Libra in your 8th house. Yeah. So it's like resources. Now, Aries in your second house shines a light on new resources you have accessible with your divine mate together as a couple that you can take forward. That is a resource you cultivate within yourself. Like, let's say you own property, you now farm it. You can start selling a special type of berry that removes cancer or something like that. And you and your mate come in together and you're going to do this. And it actually generates resources for you, income. Or maybe your divine mate brings you enough money that you can invest in the property that you then create resources through. But there is definitely a good financial doubt. I'm adding this Pluto and Venus trine in on for everybody. So that's really great. So things are looking up here. So we really do see a financial expansive opportunity between you and your mate using outside resources and somehow managing your resources. It's almost like putting the two together, putting what you can do from resources, what you've got naturally. Like, for instance, me, I'm a reader, tarot reader. These are my own resources. And then I am having finances coming through a property that I sold. So that's outside resources. That's not what I generated. It's other outside sort of funding coming in. So there's like a balance between the two, but the other opens the other up. They help each other out. It's like having multifaceted income in a way that shores up your ability to earn, because you've got outside income that shores you up. So then you can go forward with another way of earning money that may not totally 100% sustain you, but it really enables that to be on the path that you do then become very sustained by that.
Well, it sounds almost like too, the way you were describing yourself, the way I see it too, is this sense of you have this outside financial support so that you can do what your soul mission is. So that you can have the ability to move forward in your life without worrying about some of the mundane financial burdens.
Yes.
Have another source, and then you really are able to step into your mission and your purpose in a bigger way.
So, yeah, because for instance, like, what I do working and stuff, it's like I do fine and I'm quite comfortable with it, but I want to travel and do other things with it. So selling my property really enables me to sort of take my work further out into the world and go places and start more workshops. And so it's like it does help you expand things. So it's nice for Pisces moon. Very good. Now this trining Venus trine is hitting in. I want to look at for Pisces because they're ruled by Neptune, and Neptune, their ruling planet, is trining Pluto. So and Capricorn is over your 11th house, which is Pluto. So very good windfall could come in for Pisces. Very much a windfall energy for Pisces. So this is a really nice new moon, everybody. It is very romantic. Really high vibrational with Jupiter up there. So high vibe. It's great. I mean, really enjoy it. Hopefully, just new moons do come with baggage a lot. They do come with triggering, but this one doesn't have it so bad. There's no Mars squares. There's no Chiron squares. There's no Juno squares. It's really nice. The only square is that Saturn Uranus square. And is it exacting? Let's see where it is. 19 degrees 12 for Saturn and 1830 for Uranus. So we're not even really that exact on that square. So this is a really nice new moon. I say everyone really enjoy it. Find harmony between your mate. We're all going to find harmony with and a balance, and arguments or things are going to be resolved. Mercury in retrograde, issues coming up. Mars not squaring anything. Mercury's not squaring anything. So it's going to be really kind of good, I think, on the whole for everybody. Unless you're really out of balance in your relationships, then some sort of a pain issue will come up to show that. But on the whole, I think we're going to see that we've done a lot of work and we are much more balanced than we think.
I love this, Madeleine. And I feel like everyone really needed this breath of fresh air when it comes to this moon cycle.
Oh,
it's because it's been a rough road. I mean, there's been a lot, even when you pulled up the chart earlier, there were a few aspects, but normally you look and there are lines going all over the place. It's been nuts. And that one was kind of chill. You know, you could even look at it and feel like, okay, maybe I can like just lean back and relax for a second.
Yeah. Here's what we have. This sounds great. We've only got one square. We've got Saturn squaring Uranus. We do have Sun opposing Jupiter. We have Venus opposing Neptune and Moon opposing Jupiter. Other than that, we have Mars trining Saturn, Venus trining Pluto, Mercury trining Pluto. I mean, that's fantastic. Those are beautiful.
Cool.
Yeah.
So cool.
So happy trines, everybody.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
And your Jupiter opposition is not a bad one at all. It's not, and that's not a hard opposition. So hopefully everybody gets a nice new moon tonight.
Yes. So, all right. Well, don't forget, Madeleine and I are here to support you in any way you need. All of our information is below this video: website, email addresses, social media, all of that good stuff. We're more than happy to support you in any way. Madeleine with astrology, obviously, and tarot cards, and she blends the two together so beautifully. And then when it comes to relationships too, she can do a composite or a synastry to take a look. And then with the soul contract work that I do, we'll look at the energy of the two of you. It's similar to a natal chart, and we can see the energies that flow between you and how you can understand the karma you came in with and the talents that you have to help move through the karma and the goals, the things that you want to do in this life that fulfill you in the relationship and maybe together as divine partners, as Madeleine and I've been talking about for the past, hour and a half. So there's so many ways that you can get support and be able to navigate, even though this is a nicer moon. It's always nice to have a little extra information in order to make informed choices.
Yeah, with these eclipses coming up, I don't think it would hurt to look at your charts, and that. And I do Zoom sessions, so very interactive. I like to talk to people and go through their charts, and I like to show people their charts and teach as I go, because helpful. It's empowering to understand your chart.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no question about it. So anyway, Madeleine and I just appreciate you all being here. We thank you so much. Madeleine, if you'll hang for just a second, I wanted to just wrap up with you before we both go our own way. But so everyone, thank you again. We will see you here in 2 weeks. I think our next live might actually be on the full moon itself, if I'm not mistaken. So we will be back here again on a Sunday. Yeah.
Okay.
The 6th.
Okay.
6th. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah. All right, everybody. We will see you in 2 weeks. You know how to find us, and happy new moon.
Bye.